federal government has tweaked its verified traveler program in order to speed up the process of clearing security at airports. Transport Minister Omar Al-Gabra says the government will launch dedicated security screening lines at 6 of the country's biggest airports between June 7th and 21st. Eligible passengers, including Nexus members, won't have to take their shoes off, and they can keep their laptops and liquids in their bags instead of putting them onto the X-ray conveyor belt. Well, joining us now to unpack the revamped Trusted Traveler program is Mr. John Gradek, aviation expert and lecturer at McGill University. Mr. Gradek, welcome back.
My pleasure, Nima.
So we spoke just a little bit about the new changes to the Trusted Traveler program in our intro, but can you really walk us through these changes in detail and what these new security screening lines will look like for travelers?
Well, what they're doing is really bringing in a program that's been around in the U.S. for, I'd say, close to 10 years. They call it TSA pre-check program, and one that's been in Europe for a few months, or for a few years already. So we're catching up to a technology and to a business practice that has been around airports for a number of years outside of Canada. So you're creating is really a second stream of lineups for security. The second stream that you're creating is going to be for Nexus card holders, as well as for individuals that are members of the armed forces and police forces, as well as Transport Canada and other officials that are cleared to operate behind the scenes at an airport. So essentially, it's there for Nexus card holders to accelerate their process through security. They've got new machines and new equipment that they're bringing in that has been tested over the last few months in Vancouver and Toronto. They're very happy with the technology as it is. So it should speed up significantly the screening process, both as soon as you undertake screening, and hopefully the lineups for this process will be shortened as well. So it should be an improvement for at least the Nexus passengers.
And we know the government is working on a program that would allow membership without belonging to Nexus. When could we expect something like that to roll out, and what could it potentially look like?
Not sure. I think that it's going to be an interesting program to see how they're going to deploy equipment. It really is equipment that's a constraint. The technology that they're using to, in fact, scan these Nexus passengers and their carry-on baggage is different than we would have with our normal scanning equipment. In essence, the new equipment gives you a 3D image of your belongings, so you can tell by looking at the image what it is essentially in its dimensions and its content. Whereas the current technology doesn't allow you to do that. It gives you a two-dimensional image, and then you have to go open the bag and pull everything out and see what it is. So it really is an equipment constraint. It's dollars. The Minister Al-Gabra has put in 1.7 billion into the security system. So a significant chunk of that will be going into this new equipment upgrade that we're going to see.
And hopefully this addresses the issue of long lines. Now, meanwhile, we narrowly avoided a strike from WestJet pilots last week, and that could have caused major travel trouble. So do you see more tensions between unions and airlines on the horizon, which could impact travel overall this summer?
I don't think so. I think, I keep hearing all kinds of interesting noises from various players in the industry. I think Toronto Airport was pretty proud of what they did on the weekend in terms of Victoria Day handling. The airports out west did reasonably well. Mother Nature cooperated. The airlines seem to be putting together an operating plan that's kind of reasonable. I'm looking at summer peak. I'm looking at July and August. Will Mother Nature cooperate? The airports are going to be full. The airplanes are going to be full. Will the system be able to handle this significant volume? We're looking for a record summer of travel. There'll be more passengers going through Canada's airports this summer than we've ever had in the past. So it's going to put a strain on the system. I'm crossing my fingers that we're ready. So let's count our lucky stars for now.
We'll see if it could handle the pressure there. Just a quick 30 seconds left here, Mr. Gradek, but where are we at when it comes to efforts to overhaul the passenger rights charter? I know we talked a little bit about it last month when the Liberals proposed some changes to it. Where are we at right now?
They're still under study. They're still trying to put together the dot the I's and cross the T's on that new regulation. I think there's a lot of pushback from the airline industry about I know what the minister wants to put into those regulations. So the debate is still on between the industry, what the industry can find acceptable, and what the minister thinks is in the public interest. So that debate's still going on. I don't think we'll see much of anything until close to the House being lifted for summer, which is around the end of June.
All right, lots to keep our eyes on. Mr. Gradek, thank you again for your time today.
My pleasure. Have a great evening. Thank you.